Harry Lee Giles III, born April 22nd, 1998. Today's feature is a guy that has been requested by a lot of people that obviously think highly of his game and want to know why he isn't a big-name star or influential power forward along the lines of Amari Stoudemire, Garnett, or much less a guy that contributes to a playoff team. Giles has had a very unlucky career thus far, but the reasons I think he isn't a productive player may shock you. Salute to Chilling Tim 185, Jonathan Turner, John Michael Guzmundo, Smooth Tyrus, and everyone else for the requests. Let's get into it. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth. Let's get it! Giles is a Winston-Salem, North Carolina product that's listed at 6'10" and dominated all aspects of high school basketball when he was able to play. As a freshman, Giles averaged 12.5 points per game and 9.5 rebounds after leading Wesleyan Christian to a 2013 state championship. He missed his entire sophomore year due to a left knee injury, an injury that would prove to be a not so small issue moving forward. Stunt number 1, Harry Fragile. Prior to his junior season, Giles was already projected to be one of the best players from his class, and some even called him a transcendent player. I just had to look and see what all the hoopla was about. Immediately, I was not impressed. Look, for me, big men have two styles. With those styles, you must be a few things. Let's break down the first style. Big, athletic, ferocious, vocal, intimidating, strong, high motor, and a killer. A guy that would break a defender's arm in the rim if he tries to block his shot. A guy that gets into at least 2 scuffles a game. A guy that's confident and knows he can do anything to anyone. That's my style big. Amari had all those qualities, even though he was a complete gentleman off the floor. I watched Deontay Wilder's fights and interviews, and I wish he would have chosen the hoop, man. He would have been an amazing basketball player. That whole catch a body attitude he has, I'm with all that. That's the big I want. Or a big that's smart, agile, can pass, great leader, skilled on the block, and can shoot from deep. Hard-working, savvy, a Tim Duncan mixed with DeMarcus Cousins or Nikola Jokic. I love watching those guys think the game. If you're a big that falls out of those 2 features, you can't play for me, and I don't see much in your potential. Giles fell into the first category, but he just wasn't durable enough to prove that. He had all the ingredients for the soup, but in a glass bowl you had to tiptoe to carry. As a junior, Giles went head-to-head against an Orangeville prep team that featured former #1 player in 2016, Thon Maker. The Wesleyan Trojans would defeat Orangeville Prep 78-75, with Giles scoring 26 points and 14 rebounds, while Maker scored 24 points and 11 boards. This was the time and player people started to get excited about. He was up next in a much-needed power forward position. Giles averaged 23.9 points per game, 12 rebounds, 2 assists, and 3 blocks while leading the Wesleyan Trojans to a 30-5 record. For his senior season, Harry would transfer to Oak Hill Academy, where the #2 ranked prospect would suffer another stunt in his growth. Stunt number 2, I get so weak in the knees, I can hardly speak, I lose control, and something takes over me in a daze, and it's so amazing, it's not a phase, I want you to stay with me, by my side, I swallow my pride, your love is on me, it not me right up on my feet. Ooh. Ooh, can't explain why your knees so fucking weak. Ooh, yo, I'm wildin'. I gotta chill. Somebody cue the SWV for this guy, man. During his first scrimmage with Oak Hill, Giles would have another injury to his right knee this time and be forced to miss the rest of the year. Although he missed this time, he was still able to secure a scholarship from one of the best schools in the country, Duke University, and a top medical staff because believe me, he would definitely need it. He was rated the #1 player in the class by some. Upon entering Duke, he was expected to play just 1 season with the program before moving on to be a top 3 pick in the draft. But his time at the school wouldn't go as planned, and before he even played a game, Duke would have to perform a 3rd knee surgery on Giles. 3 surgeries in 3 years. I don't care who you are, that's a lot of procedures for a player, especially a guy so tall with so much weight on his body. Also for the style of play he has, which requires him to be so much more athletic than his opponent and also have a higher motor than them. We've seen what that many surgeries did to Amari Stoudemire. Harry was bitten by the injury bug, and the results completely stunted this potential great's career. Stunt number 3, when your name is bigger than your game, nothing really matters. By this point, Giles was a shell of himself at such a young age. But let's really talk about this. Were you guys really sold on him? I wasn't. Even when he was healthy, I wasn't. They listed him at 6'10", but to me, he looks 6'8" or 6'9". That's small for a guy that thinks he's coming into the NBA and dominating veterans that are 7 feet and taller on the block. I never thought he was big enough, skilled enough, showed he could produce enough, smart enough, or possess the intangibles enough to pick him at all in the draft. Maybe a healthy version of himself, but at this point, what were scouts thinking? At Duke, he didn't debut until December and was horrible all year. He played in 26 games at 11 minutes per game, averaging 3 points, 3 rebounds, and 0 blocks, and shot horrible from everywhere. My mother could ask me to draft this player and I'd say, "Mom, I love you, but get all the way the fuck out of here, man. Hell no. He shouldn't have even been allowed to enter." Now on the other side, as a player, shit, if they're gonna still give you that first round money for that production, hey, go get it, young blood. But whoever drafted him deserves to be fired immediately. I'd be damned if I owned a team and my GM comes to me on some, "Yo, let's draft Harry Giles."
Screw you! You're fired!
Needless to say, at the end of his time at Duke, Giles entered the draft and was the 20th pick in the first round, winding up with the, you guessed it, fucking Sacramento Kings. At least they got De'Aaron Fox and Buddy Hield right. But everything else was a complete travesty, and this was right along those lines. Giles missed his entire rookie season due to injury and debuted the next season, 2018-19. He scored 2 points in his first game and just looked horrible out on the court. He would average 7 points and 3 rebounds a game as a second-year rookie and not much else. He would also spend some time in the G League. All in all, Giles is still young, so who knows what could happen. But I don't expect much at this point, and I really never have. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth, and I'm out.